Hey everyone, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Okay, folks, things are starting to get bloody out there. Bitcoin back down again, currently at $66,608 at the time of recording. So we're seeing a bit of a fake out from the move we saw up above $71,000, which, we were looking for some sort of relief rally. Maybe that was it. But, we're going to have to wait and see because there's a lot of uncertainty in the markets right now. Even the stock market is seeing some pressure where we're seeing the futures are all in the negative. So it's starting to get bloody out there. And this week could be really bad. Maybe we see a big dump for the stock market, the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, and much more. Some analysts are looking at the charts for the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, and it is looking bearish. So, with the uncertainty with the Iran war, oil prices surging over $100 a barrel, and much more, we could see the markets take a big hit. And of course, if the stock market's dumping, we're going to see crypto pull down with it, right? Because it's like the gravitational pull. What's fascinating is that gold is also down. So everything is just down right now. Just oil is going nuts. And the VIX, the volatility index, is spiking. So be prepared. This could be a very bloody week. And it doesn't mean it's going to last forever. Remember that markets are cyclical, right? And we are, I think, near the bottom of this respective bear market because we've seen a big downside already. So it presents buying opportunities if you have a long-term view. Now, if you're looking at just the 1 minute, 1 hour weekly, it's going to drive you nuts and you won't have that larger perspective. But again, we've seen many of these type of events. Just even the beginning of last year with the tariff announcement, markets dumped significantly, right? It was a significant move down. So this is where patience and having some sort of dollar cost averaging strategy is important, and markets will find your bottom and continue to move higher because they will continue to debase the currency and print. So this is where you got to play the long game by holding assets. And of course, crypto is one of the fastest horses in the race. Now, not to pour salt on the wound here, but around 36.8 billion XRP are now underwater with unrealized losses hitting $50.8 billion per glass note. This is true for many altcoins, right? But I just saw this data point and I think it's important to highlight. And again, markets don't go in the same direction forever. There's going to be a bottom and then an accumulation phase, and then we hit the next bull market. But this is where patience, it has to be exercised. Don't look at your portfolio. I'm avoiding looking at my portfolio because psychologically I know what that will do. So I don't want to focus on it too much, right? So I want to look at the buying opportunities. So guys, again, expect lots of volatility this week. Now, from a macro perspective, I love what Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, tweeted out today. He said crypto will break down barriers around fundraising and capital formation next. Reducing friction around fundraising will increase the number of startups in the world, accelerating progress. Every entrepreneur knows how time-consuming and expensive fundraising can be. So, guys, we've seen the model with altcoins, even meme coins and NFTs, right? The ability to crowdsource and raise capital. Now, we need to put the regulations and the guardrails in place. I'm not saying you should launch a meme coin to fundraise, but rather you can tokenize yourself or tokenize a business and have it go through proper institutions that will do the audits and the verifications, and it's all transparent on the blockchain and globally distributed, and you can raise capital that way. So please understand what I'm saying. And I believe eventually the future IPOs and companies going public will be on chain. It won't be through stocks, on the stock market. It's going to be on chain in different ways. So this is a paradigm shift, folks, and it does take time for the infrastructure to be built for all these things to come to fruition. Now, folks, our sponsor for this video is Trezor. Trezor makes beautiful hardware wallets that make it easy for you to safely store your crypto assets. This is the safest way to store your assets, right? Because you control the private keys. Trezor, they've been at this since 2013. They were the pioneers of hardware wallets. They started it all, and then the other competitors came along. And their hardware wallets are open source. So that's how much they trust the code of their devices and what they've built. And they support all the major tokens: Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano, you name it. You go down the list, even new tokens. And they offer a hand-holding service. So if you want to talk to a Trezor rep after you buy your device, they can help you walk through setting it up and answer any questions you have. Don't worry, they don't ask you for your private keys. And I'm a user of the devices. I use the Trezor Safe 5 and the Trezor Safe 7. So if you'd like to learn more about Trezor, please visit the link in the description. You can also use my code ThinkingCrypto, all one word, ThinkingCrypto, to get 5% off your purchase. So again, all the links will be in the description. Now, this is interesting, folks. The United States Department of the Treasury admits crypto mixers have legitimate privacy uses on public blockchains. So many of you know about the story with Tornado Cash and the other crypto mixers. Many governments, including the United States, have come out very heavy-handed against them. And instead of going after the bad actors, they've gone after the people who created these platforms and the software, right? But that's not the right approach. You got to go after the bad actors. So great to see the Treasury is starting to change its tune here, and hopefully the entire U.S. government can get behind this and they can put together the legislation that's needed to regulate and monitor these platforms versus, just having a knee-jerk reaction of, well, we need to shut it down and only bad actors are using it, right? And even like the founder, Tornado Cash, took the brunt of it. But these type of technologies are going to be very important for the future adoption of crypto. And speaking of the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent tweeted out just on Friday, enjoyed meeting with President Nayib Bukele today at the President of the United States Shield of America's Summit in Doral, Florida. I was glad to hear more about President Bukele's pro-market reforms for El Salvador and his efforts to make El Salvador a digital assets hub. We will continue to work together to advance strategies to strengthen our hemisphere. Very interesting. So notice he mentioned their digital assets hub. So El Salvador could be a key partner to the United States as it relates to crypto and blockchain technology. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. But we know President Bukele, they've been buying Bitcoin, El Salvador, right, in their reserve, and they've embraced Bitcoin and crypto in many different ways. So very interesting. Now, here's some more news from the government as it relates to crypto. Trump's cyber strategy vows to support the security of cryptocurrencies and blockchain. So great update here. It's no secret that President Trump's administration is very pro-crypto. So the Trump administration's new cyber strategy prioritizes the security of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology to maintain U.S. leadership in emerging tech. This places blockchain security in the context of national technology competition alongside AI and quantum computing. The strategy aligns with the administration's ongoing support for crypto, including past pledges to make the U.S. the crypto capital and create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So again, all the moving parts and components, the bells and whistles are being set up here for the adoption of crypto. Obviously, the many institutions want to see the governments give their rubber stamp of approval in many different ways so that they can use the technology to build and invest and do a lot more. So this is very good news. Okay, moving ahead, tokenized assets exceed $25 billion after nearly quadrupling in a year. So the token economy is growing. We are seeing a lot of assets go on chain, from fiat currency to gold to real estate to money market funds and equities and much more, guys. It's really, really incredible. So tokenized real world assets, excluding stablecoins, have surged more than $25 billion on chain, nearly quadrupling in a year, with 6 categories now exceeding $1 billion each. Much of the growth reflects larger, infrequent institutional allocations rather than active secondary trading, as issuers prioritize capital formation and fundraising efficiency over liquidity. Only about 12% of the roughly $8.5 billion in RWA-backed stablecoins is deployed in DeFi, leaving most assets siloed behind compliance barriers and raising questions about whether tokenization will integrate with permissionless finance. So This is just the tip of the iceberg, right? The billions that we're hitting here is like almost next to nothing when you think about there's trillions of dollars of assets around the globe. So eventually we're going to get to that 1 trillion mark, and it's going to be a combination of different jurisdictions and countries around the world putting, large assets like real estate and gold and much more on chain. So the ball is rolling here, guys. And as always, they're doing this on blockchain networks. So this is where we want to keep monitoring and see which blockchain networks are getting adoption. A great website I've talked about many times is rwa.xyz, where you can verify or view, I should say, the data around different blockchains that are getting adoption and how much of tokenized assets, RWA tokenized assets, are on those chains. So this is updated on a daily basis, and you can see what's happening with the different blockchains like Ethereum, Solana, Canton Network, and much more. It's all there. You can look at the data and see what's being built on which blockchains and much more. So things are moving in the right direction here, guys. This is very, very bullish. Okay, folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't as yet. Be sure to subscribe to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. Link will be in the description. Be sure to grab a copy of my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. Knowledge is power. Expand your knowledge about blockchain and crypto technology. Check it out. All the links will be in the description. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.